Okay, do it. Hey, welcome to Bootorials. I'm your host Craig, and today we're going to talk about everyone's favourite pain, Shin Bang is whack. Now there are several causes and several solutions. The first thing you need to assess is the boot itself. You want to make sure it's not too long, otherwise you'll be sliding back and forth in the boot. You want to make sure the volume's right so you're nice and secure at the instep. You want to make sure the cuff matches your lower leg so you're not slamming back and forth in the cuff. So it is the fit of your boot which is the main remedy for your Shin Bang. So getting that dialed in is really key. There's some solutions after the fact, like some gel pads and stuff you can buy. They're really band-aids. Only look at them if you're all bruised up and you just have to ski the next day. Otherwise, let's focus on getting the boot right. So next, of course, is footbeds. Restricting that pronation, stopping that sliding action, absolute keys to stopping Shin Bang. It's also what's going to help you lock into the back of your boot, getting you in that neutral position, sits your foot in that position to give you adequate hold at your instep, and it's also going to correct that alignment. And with that alignment corrected, it means you're going to be flexing through the center of your cuff properly. Also making sure you can flex your boot properly and make any adjustments as needed. It wants to be a nice even pressure as you come forward, and you want to be able to get your knee above your toe. Now if you do have extra volume in the cuff that you need to get rid of, you're going to want to do that with a tongue shin. And you're going to do that by attaching it to the tongue of your liner. Other things that are going to help with that volume is a spoiler in the back under your calf, and also if you have super skinny chicken legs, you may want to think about getting an eliminator tongue. Now it's going to sound silly, but check how you're putting on your socks. Seriously, if you're pulling up your sock and drawing back all them hairs on your shin, the pressure is going to build throughout the day. It's going to feel like Shin Bang, but really you've just been ripping at those hairs all day. Intuition liners can be a great addition to your boots. The reason it's so good for your Shin Bang is the material they use. It's a nice, soft, thick EVA foam which just absorbs impacts really well. Now just depending on your type of boot, how much space you got, whether you go the tongue or the power wrap obviously gives you a double layer, and so they can be great. Power straps, do them up nice and snug. The whole reason they're there is to keep the top of your liner in contact with your shin the whole time. You want to be flexing with your boot, you don't want to be bouncing on the front of that liner. So do the power strap up nice and snug. You know what I absolutely hate? Oh, you won't get Shin Bang if you don't ski backseat. Well, geniuses, free skiing basically guarantees you can have some heavy impacts and backseat landings. That's why it's so important to get all these elements right in the fitting of your boots. So if you feel like you've got all those elements right with how the boot fits your leg and foot, there is a couple of modifications you can do to your liner to help mitigate the Shin Bang. So the first thing we can attack is the excessive cupping that a lot of liners have in the mold of their tongues. So what we want to do there is heat it up with a heat gun and flatten it out. So flattening that can get you a better shape against the tibia and just soften it up for you. So to install that tongue shim, you're only going to use the full length if you've got a boot that's really too big and you don't have all that volume there you need. Otherwise you're just going to trim it if it's just for locking in your lower leg. They're adhesive backed. Peel it away, give that glue a little bit of heat because that helps activate it and get a really good adhesion to the plastic of your tongue. And then get it nice and central. there we have tongue shim. Now this modification is for those extreme cases, so really before you do this, make sure every other element of your boot is fitting right. Now, this technique was taught to me by a very talented boot fitter who's worked with a lot of mogul skiers and had a lot of success and results by doing this technique. So what this technique is called is fluting the tongue, and what that means is we're going to Dremel a series of channels into the tongue. And what that's going to do is soften and spread the load as your shin impacts the front of this tongue. Top of the tongue, we're going to do a single line. And then we're going to do a series of 5 vertical, starting with a short one on the outside. 3/4 of the way down the tongue. A full length. And then just repeat to be even on the other side. So then we have that pattern to follow with our Dremel. So the bit I'm using for this modification is the 196 high-speed cutter. It works really well on plastics and gives you a nice channel shape. So again, if you're going to do this modification, go slowly. We don't want to be busting through the plastic. We just want to make a series of channels, let's say 1.5 mil deep, and that is what's going to spread the load. So that should give you a good indication on depth. Now when you are using the Dremel to make the channel, just keep a nice, slow, even pace and just let that bit do all the work. So that is your liner with the tongue flutes. Just to give you a quick comparison, tongue that hasn't been done, still quite resistant, where this one now flexes and takes impact a whole lot better. Thank you for watching. I hope now you can shred with some happy shins. Stay rad, be a patriot, signing out.